Hi, today we are going to discuss about cells. Cells are the basic fundamental unit of life. So if we were to break apart an organism to the cellular level, the smallest independent component that we would find would be the cell. Explore the cell notes to know what is the cell definition, cell structure, types and function of the cell, then the definition of the cell. A cell is defined as the smallest basic unit of life that is responsible for all of life's processes. Cells are the structural, functional, and biological units of all living beings. A cell can replicate itself independently, hence, they are known as the building blocks of life. Each cell contains a fluid called the cytoplasm, which is enclosed by the membrane. Also present in the cytoplasm are several biomolecules like proteins, nucleic acid, and lipids. Moreover, cellular structures called as cell organelles are suspended in the cytoplasm. Now, what is cell? A cell is the structural and fundamental unit of life. The study of cells from its basic structure to the function of every cell organelle is called as cell biology. Robert Hooke was the first biologist who discovered the cell. All organisms are made up of cells. They may be made up of a single cell, that is unicellular, or many cells, that is multicellular. The mycoplasms are the smallest known cells. Cells are building blocks of living beings. They provide a structure to the body and convert the nutrients taken from the food into the energy. Discovery of the cell. The discovery of the cells is one of the remarkable advancement in the field of science. It helps us know that all the organisms are made up of cells, and these cells help in carrying out various lab processes. The structure and function of the cells help us to understand life in a better way. Now, who discovered the cell? The Robert Hooke discovered the cell in 1665. Robert Hooke observed a piece of bottle cork under a compound microscope and notices minuscule structure that remind him of small rooms. Consequently, the names these rooms are cells. However, our compound microscope had limited the magnification and hence he could not see any details in the structure. Owing to this limitation, Hooke concluded that these were now living entities. The characteristics of cells are cells provide structure and support to the body of an organism. The cell interior is organized into different individual organelles surrounded by a separate membrane. The nucleus holds genetic information necessary for reproduction and cell growth. Every cell has a one nucleus and membrane bound organelles in the cytoplasm. Mitochondria, a double membrane bound organelle, is mainly responsible for the energy transaction vital for the survival of the cell. The lysosomes digest unwanted material in the cell. The endoplasmic reticulum plays a significant role in the internal organization of the cell by synthesis, selective molecules and processing, directing and sorting them to their appropriate locations. Now, the types of cell. Cells are similar to factories with different laborers and departments that work towards a common objectives. The various types of cell perform different functions. Based on cellular structure, there are two types of cells, that is prokaryotic and eukaryotes. Now, the difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. The prokaryotic cells have no nucleus. Instead, some prokaryotes such as bacteria have a region within the cell where the genetic material is freely suspended. This region within the cell where the genetic material is freely suspended. These regions are called the nucleoids. They are single celled microorganisms. Examples include archaea, bacteria, and cyanobacteria. The cell size ranges from 0.1 to 0.5 micrometer in diameter. The hereditary material can either be DNA or RNA. Prokaryotes generally reproduce by binary fusion, a form of asexual reproduction. They are also known to use conjugation, which is often seen as a prokaryotic equivalent to sexual reproduction. Now, the eukaryotic cells. Eukaryotic cells are characterized by a true nucleus. The size of the cells ranges between 10 to 100 micrometer in diameter. This broad category involves the plant, fungi, protozoans, and animals. The plasma membrane is responsible for the monitoring the transport of nutrients and electrolytes in and out of the cell. It is also responsible for cell to cell communication. They reproduce. The structure of the cell comprises individual components with specific functions essential to carry out life's processes. These components including cell wall, cell membrane, cytoplasm, nucleus, and cell organelles. Now, the cell membrane. The cell membrane supports and protects the cell. It controls the movement of substances in and out of the cells. It separates the cell from the external environment. The cell membrane is present in all the cells. The cell membrane is the outer covering of the cell within which all other organelles such as the cytoplasm and nucleus are enclosed. It is also referred to as the plasma membrane. The cell wall is the most prominent part of the plant cell structure. It is made up of cellulose, hemicellulose, and pectine. The cell wall is present exclusively in plant cells. It protects the plasma membrane and other cellular components. The cell wall is also the outermost layer of the plant cell. It provides shape and support to the cells and protects them from mechanical shocks and injuries. Now the cytoplasm. The cytoplasm is a thick, clear, jelly-like substance present inside the cell membrane. Most of the chemical reaction within the cell take a place in the cytoplasm. Now the nucleus. The nucleus contains the hereditary material of the cell, the DNA. It sends signal to the cell to grow, mature, divide, and die. The nucleus is surrounded by the nuclear envelope that separates the DNA from the rest of the cell. The nucleus protects the DNA and is an integral component of a plant cell structure. Now the cell organelles. Cells are composed of various cell organelles that perform certain specific functions to carry out life's processes. The different cell organelles along with its principal function are as follows. Cell organelles and their function. Nucleolus. The nucleolus is the site of ribosome synthesis. The nuclear membrane. The nuclear membrane protects the nucleus by the forming of boundary between the nucleus and other cell organelles. Now the chromosomes. Chromosomes play a crucial role in determination the sex of the individual. Now the endoplasmic reticulum. The endoplasmic reticulum is involved in the transportation of substances throughout the cell. Golgi bodies. The Golgi bodies are called as the cell post office as it is involved in the transportation of material within the cell. Now the ribosomes. Ribosomes are the protein synthesis of the cell. The mitochondria. The mitochondria is called the powerhouse of the cell. The lysosomes. Lysosomes protect the cell by engulfing the foreign bodies entering the cell and help in cell renewal. Then chloroplast. Chloroplasts are the primary organelles from the photosynthesis. It contains the pigment called chlorophyll. Then vascules. The vascules store food, water, and other waste material in the cell. So, now the function of the cell. A cell performs the major functions essential for the growth and development of the organism. That are, it provides the support and structure, it facilitates the growth mitosis, it allows the transport of substances. Now, it is have an energy production, it aids the reproduction. These are the functions of the cell, and cell is defined as the fundamental structure and function unit of the living organism. So these are the information involved in the cell. Thank you.